Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you going today? Today we're going to look at simplifying algebraic fractions part 1, multiplying and dividing. So let's write down our title. Simplifying algebraic fractions part 1, multiplying and dividing. Right, so if we just ignore the algebra part, like with your variables, and we just looked at fractions, so recall from year 7 and 8, if we had to multiply fractions, multiply fractions. Say, for example, we wanted to multiply 1/4 with 2/5, right? What you would do is you literally multiply across and then you simplify. So that I would get that is 1 times 2 over 4 times 5, which is the same as, 2 over 20, and then you can see that top and bottom, they have a common factor of 2 because they're both even, so I divide top and bottom by 2. So that I get 1 over 10 as my final simplified answer. Alternatively, if you are a simplify first and multiply method, so right now what I've demonstrated is the multiply across first, and then simplify. Or if some people decide to do, they recognize that, hey, top there's a 2 and then bottom there's a 4, and that they both can be divided by 2, so that's 1 and 2. So then you would multiply that across so that you get 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 5 is 10. That's still the same idea of you multiply your numerators together and then you multiply your denominators together and then you simplify your fraction. And then you recall dividing fractions from year 7 and 8. Let's say you wanted to divide 3 over 2 by 6 over 4. What you would do is the first guy stays the same. You turn the divide into a multiply and then you flip the second guy. So 6 over 4 now becomes 4 over 6. And then you would either do the multiply across and then simplify, or simplify first and then multiply across, same thing. So if you multiply across, you get 12. Because 4 times 3 is 12, and then on the bottom 2 times 6 is also 12. 12 over 12 is just 1, because 12 divided by 12 is 1. Or alternatively, if you had 3 over 2 times 4 over 6, you'll recognize that 3 and 6 divides into 3, so 1 and 2, and then 4 and 2 divides in by 2, so that's 2 and 1, and then you're left with 2 over 2, which is 1. You still get the same answer. So in any case, the key thing for dividing fractions is you turn the divide into a multiply and then you flip the second guy. And the other thing is you'll also recall simplifying fractions from year 7 and 8. Say you wanted to simplify 4 over 8, you would immediately go, well, I can divide top and bottom by 4 because they have a common factor of 4, so that my simplified fraction is a half, because that's what you normally do anyway in year 7 and 8. I'm going to break down this idea of a common factor. So what you're thinking of in 4 over 8 when you're trying to simplify it is, because you know the answer is 1/2, because 4 you can divide top and bottom by 4. But what you're thinking is, well, 4 is the same as 4 times 1, and 8 is the same as 4 times 2. And then you go, well, hey, top and bottom have a common factor of 4. And then so I can cancel them out, so I'm left with 1 over 2. Now, the key thing I want to point out is, why am I making this so long and tedious, is because you can cancel the top and bottom by 4 because there's a common factor of 4 in numerator and denominator, in top and bottom. Denominator and denominator. So in other words, it's a product you're multiplying, because the factor means to multiply by a number, right? So because it's a common factor, both top and bottom have a common multiplying by 4, so you can cancel the 4 out. On the other hand, what you wouldn't do, right, is you wouldn't go, oh, 4 is 1 plus 3. So you wouldn't go, oh, 4 over 8 is the same as 1 plus 3. And 8 is also 3 plus 5. And oh my gosh, look, there's a 3 on top and a 3 on bottom. And then I can cancel them out. And then I get with 1/5 left, right? You know that's not how you simplify fractions. Because simplifying fractions is looking at what is the common factor, what's the common number you're multiplying by top and bottom, so that you can cancel them out, not the addition or subtraction part. And that's the idea I want to bring across as well for simplifying algebraic fractions. So now that we're dealing with x's and variables, right? So to simplify algebraic fractions, again, you want to cancel common factors in the top and in the numerator and denominator, in the top and bottom. And the key word I want to stress is common factors. The word factors means you're multiplying things, right? So for example, if you have 2x plus 4 over 2, right? So this is an algebraic fraction because it has more than just pure numbers. There's variables, x's in there as well. So that's what makes it algebraic fraction. You wouldn't just go, oh, look, there's a 2 on top and a 2 on bottom. I'm just going to cancel out the 2. And then I'm left with x plus 4. See, that is not good. That's bad. Please don't do this. What you would do instead, so let's start off with 2x plus 4 over 2. You would have to factorize your top and bottom first so that you get your factors. So you get products, multiplication, then you can cancel any top and common factors, any common factors in the top and bottom. So if we had to factorize the top, the numerator, so you see that you have 2x and 4. Well, what's in common between 2x and 4? Well, you can pull a common factor of 2 out, and then what's left over is x plus 4. So really you have 2 times x plus 4, and then you have 2 times 1 on the bottom. And because you have 2 times in common, the factor of 2 is in common. So then you can cancel out the factor of 2. And then you're left with x plus 4 over 1, which is the same as x plus 4, because whatever you divide, anything you divide by 1 is it's itself. So this is the good way of doing it, right? I mean, in the end, you're like, but they're the same answer. Yeah, it's coincidence they're the same answer. But the first one is a bad demonstration because you haven't put your top and bottom into factors yet. They're not products of factors. So the key point to take away is you must always factorize your top and bottom first before you can cancel any common factors in the top and bottom. You can't just say, oh, look, there's a 2 on top and a 2 on bottom, so I just decide to cancel it out. No, you can only cancel the 2's if it's a product, so they're being multiplied as factors. Okay, so that's